What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another DSM Media special. I guess I am your host, Dylan Davis. Tonight I'm joined by 4 DSM Media members. My guy, Scotty, the co-host of Turf Talk and the host of Scotty Talks NBA, the co-host of the Faithful Fanatic Show with myself, Matt McGinty. Kata Hot, the world's biggest troll, helps us on TikTok and is starting his own podcast right here on DSM Media with the newest member of DSM Media, whose first pod airs tomorrow at 5 p.m., Cole Thompson. Guys, you can check everybody out on Twitter at DSM_media as we stream to you guys live through our Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, and YouTube channels. Boys, what is going on?
Let's go.
Nothing.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
nothing of importance tonight. Nothing. No, it's going to be exciting.
This is probably
the most looked forward to regular season basketball game with a guy that's not going to play I have ever and will ever see in my 23 years of living.
It's highly anticipated. It's being built up big time, especially by national TV host and analyst. Kendrick Perkins says that if these two teams meet in the postseason, it would be the best or most electrifying postseason series in NBA history. Scotty, what's going on, bro?
Hey, not much, man. I'm trying to keep up with everything that's going on over here because obviously we got a bunch of college basketball flowing, and I got some steady parlays flowing over here. So don't mind me if I am looking down at my phone, just keeping an eye on things. But yeah, I was thinking earlier about this game and about this matchup and kind of how it weighs up against even a playoff matchup per se, because like the difference with this game, and like we'll obviously get into all the details of it, but once we play the Brooklyn Nets tonight, we won't see them again unless we play them in the playoffs. So you lose this game, it's going to be talked about, it's going to be paraded, it's going to be showboated by whichever side wins it until they do play again. And so I feel like it does hold a little bit more weight than, say, even a game one of a playoff series in a sense. Because at least in the playoff series, game two is going to be in one day. You can get back, you can make that up. But there's going to be a lot of shit talking that goes on for probably over a month, if depending on who loses this game, obviously.
All right, let's pass it over to the newest member of DSM. Cole, how you feeling, bro?
I'm feeling pretty good. I'm pretty excited for tonight. I think the thing I'm most excited for, though, is to see George Niang light up Ben Simmons throughout the game. He said that he's going to talk shit, and I'm excited to see it.
Scotty, are you the one that posted that TikTok of the Farsi show?
Yeah, I did put that up.
So there is an actual argument going on our social media platform about between George Niang and Ben Simmons. I've never seen. So Cole and Kata are plugged into TikTok. Is this how it normally is? Is it like?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean,
like everything you say, immediately you're getting attacked. Even if you have like a normal opinion, it gets attacked no matter what.
Somebody's going to sit there and troll it. Somebody's going to sit there and troll it and try to say that your opinion is wrong, even if they don't believe it themselves.
Right, and then you got people like myself probably who know it's a troll, but they can't handle the troll because they're too annoyed by the troll that they have to respond, and then the conversation continues back and forth.
I'm live on my TikTok right now, trying to put people on the DSM Media's YouTube page right now, and I got people in here saying Jalen Reagor's overrated. I didn't even know he was rated at all.
Overrated?
So that's the type of trolls we get.
I think
spelled Jalen Reagor wrong too.
How is that possible?
Jalen Reagor bet on the NFL.
I think if you rate Jalen Reagor at all, he's overrated. That's how I look at it.
Absolutely.
Him and JJ are thinking Whiteside.
What's up, Colton? Thanks for tuning in, buddy.
That's a great picture.
What's up?
Pull his comment back up. That's a great picture.
Is that Brian Scalabrine?
Yeah, with his ring.
White Mamba.
All right, guys, let's get to the game tonight. Let's start with the elephant in the room, the 6'10" elephant in the room, as Ben Simmons returns to the first time in Philly. And I'm not going to spend too much time on this. Obviously, I want to try to focus on the game itself. But how are you guys feeling about, like, what do you think the atmosphere is going to be like? Because there's a lot of conversation of, okay, boo, talk your shit, give him an earful, or the passive-aggressive, thanks for Harden, Tyrese Maxey types of chants because of that grievance that Ben is somehow filing with the NBA to try to recoup some of his millions of lost dollars from fines. What do you guys think the atmosphere is going to be like? Again, I'll start with you.
I don't think this grievance changes anything. I think Sixers fans are passionate, obviously. The only thing I'll say is it's interesting with the whole throwing things at him. Like, I don't condone any of that. I don't think people should do that.
No one should
Obviously,
be
the
doing that.
chants are coming, and they would come even if he was on the team game 1 this season. They're not going anywhere. I think what's more interesting is like post game what he does. Does he dap anyone up? Does he jump right to the locker room? Also, if George Niang's actually hitting shots, is he actually looking over at the bench and chirping Ben? This will be the first basketball game I can remember where if you're busting someone's ass, you're not talking shit to the person you're doing it to. You're looking over at a guy that's going to be in dress
Specifically,
clothes
yeah.
and talking shit to him like he's the one you're cooking. But he's not a competitor, because if you were a competitor, you'd have this game marked on your schedule and want to go out there and play tonight, which, again, I don't know about you guys. I was team Ben for the longest time until this whole charade happened. So it's kind of laughable to see, but I'm excited to see everything that goes down. Obviously, I'm hoping for a win, but more to what he does on the bench. Will he even stand up? Will he have a hoodie on? I don't know. We'll see.
I'm sure this chant's going to be echoed out the arena. And you said, I just have a question. What's Ben doing tonight? Honey bun Harden, dumbass comment. Kata, I'll throw it to you. What do you think the atmosphere is going to be like? Because if you were in the house, I know some of the things that would be said, but how would you go about it?
If Kato was in the house, I think he might get arrested.
I was there at Game 7. That was very hostile.
So how would you go about it? How would you go about it? What do you think it's going to be like? Like, are you on the side of give him an earful, give him everything? Or do you want the fans to? Because part of me thinks it would be pretty funny if James Harden's walking the ball up past half court and it's thanks for Harden by 20,000 people.
I think here's what needs to happen. Whenever Harden has the ball, they should cheer for him as loud as possible. And they should have a lot of F Ben Simmons chants. We all hate Ben Simmons. I don't think there should be any passive aggressiveness at all. It should be all aggressive towards Ben Simmons. Make him cry. Make him want to not come back here ever again. And I think the other storyline that's not been talked about as much is the KD versus Harden thing. KD was pissed when Harden got traded, and I don't see how that's going to be any different tonight.
I think I said that, Scotty, I said that to you on Tuesday night, right? Like, obviously, everyone's focus is on Ben's return, and that's 90% of the story. But Harden didn't depart Brooklyn in this, mutual feeling kind of thing. He left, so to speak, when things weren't going well and Kyrie wasn't around and KD was out. So, Scotty, yeah, I'll throw it to you here. What do you think about what Kata just said about, Harden versus KD and or Kyrie?
I don't know. It's tough to measure because, obviously he was a little upset. He was frustrated. Obviously, you saw it in the All-Star draft. But like just yesterday, he was talking about how he understands why Harden may have wanted to go to Philly versus Brooklyn. Like, so he has an understanding of it. He's wrapped his head around it at least. And, at the end of the day, he needs to worry about his own team. He needs to worry about Ben Simmons. So like, if he's worried about that tonight, then that's 1+1 for the Sixers, right? Like if that's in KD's head tonight, because I don't think it's going to be in Harden's head at all. I think he's just going to go out there and ball. But just thinking about Kevin Durant and kind of what his focus is. But the thing with Kevin Durant, even though he says that yesterday, he's going to talk shit like even if James Harden wasn't traded to Philly, Kevin Durant's going to talk shit in this game tonight. Like he's going to try to cook Philly. So, I don't know. I'm not going to put too much grain in like the Durant versus Harden type of deal, just because they probably won't guard each other. They probably won't have those scenarios where they should get into it, but we'll definitely find out tonight.
Cole.
Man, when it comes to Ben Simmons, I love Ben Simmons so much. He was my favorite player when he was drafted, and it just feels like that ex-girlfriend that you didn't want to let go, but you had to. And I hope they give it to him tonight. But at the same time, I do want them to focus primarily on winning the game and take the high road and not focus on necessarily giving Ben a hard time, which I think they can do both, definitely. So I expect George Niang to hit a 3, run down, and point at Ben Simmons and harass Ben Simmons a little bit tonight. But all in all, I mean, Ben Simmons, like I said, I wish things would have worked out with him. I really did. even after Game 7, I was still hoping a little bit that we could work something out, but it just never was going to work out. So we got the better end of the deal, in my opinion, too. So
Has the team said anything about a tribute video?
I don't think so.
I
I didn't
don't know.
hear anything. I heard
You know
Shouldn't be
you
one.
can't, right?
Yeah. I don't know why they think like I understand why people want it. Like I saw El Parcero's video. Like it would be the right thing to do, but at the same time, you can't. After all that happened, you can't.
Oh, I
Any
think
other-
I think they should, so we can boo them during the whole thing.
No, they should just play the what was it? The Did the Sixers win video? Did you guys see that one that came
I
out
That was
today?
saw
that was great.
If
That was
if
great.
they played that on the Jumbotron, that would be hilarious. But so real quick before we move on to the game itself, you guys, we talked a lot. We talked about Ben, obviously. We talked about George Niang giving it to the bench, KD, Harden, Kyrie, everything. We haven't talked. Speaking, we have a troll on the screen right now. We haven't talked of the troll of all trolls, and that's Joel Embiid. Right, like everyone's just glossing. I feel like the mindset is he's just going to be the bigger man tonight, and he's going to ball out. I disagree. I think if Joel Embiid throws down on the Brooklyn side of the court, he's staring
looking right
directly down at that
he's
bench.
staring
He's
Ben
letting a
Simmons right in
little
the eyes.
something out. They're not dapping up tonight. They're not saying anything to each other. They're not friends in the slightest. So I think that's one of the more underrated things today is like we're talking about George Niang talking shit. You know, Maxi's commented on it, everything. No one's talking about Joel Troll Embiid and what he's going to do tonight. And, you know, it'll be interesting. It's a nationally televised game, and it's going to be something else, dude.
Another thing to talk about, because Daniel Green, as Tyrone Johnson calls him, is just opening up a bunch of cans of worms about what was going on while he was here, etc. I think after tonight, the locker room needs to make a pact of we need to move on from this guy. No more talking about stories, no more this and that. Like, it needs to be put in the past. That's also another reason why, like, even the city, like, we got the best player. We were sitting here talking about like Jeremy Grant and Sadiq Bey as being options for moving him, and we ended up with James Harden. It's something that I think the city just needs to move on from.
Closure.
Exactly. Like closure comes from winning tonight with him sitting on the bench. I think that'll be the utmost greatest feeling you could possibly have. So, like Danny Green just continuing, just running his mouth about the situations while he was here just seems so to me.
You guys, so Gid's talking about when he was on the podcast. Did you see how he changed his number apparently?
What did, like, I don't get that.
What?
Okay, he changed his phone number. Are you like in your contract, aren't you obligated to like submit a number to give to an organization for them to contact? Like, yo, we all work. Don't you have to give a phone number to somebody so they can contact you? He just didn't do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't think too much of whatever it was that came out today. It's like if he changes, like, duh. Like I wouldn't be surprised if he had multiple phones. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's just like he wasn't returning their text messages. We could have left it at that, in my opinion. It doesn't really matter if he changed his number or if he just didn't respond.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's already been recorded.
Cell phone at practice the one day. How'd they not be like, "Hey, can we get that number?"
I do agree with Gint in a sense, though, because for a guy that wanted to support Ben, keep everything in the house, hush when he was here, I'm not saying don't speak on it, but now Daniel Green is letting it out right now over the last couple of weeks.
Daniel Green's been a net negative the last couple of weeks. So it's time to turn the notch, Danny.
Yeah, saying how the Sixers would talk about who they could trade for when Ben was still there. But all right, let's get to the game itself tonight. And I want to start on the Brooklyn side for you. Obviously, no Ben Simmons. So the focus goes to the two superstars there, KD and then Kyrie, who's coming off a fresh 50 burger. Who's the bigger concern if you're the Sixers? Cole, I'll start with you.
So I feel like KD is a bigger concern because at the end of the day, I think that the Nets are a lot like the Chiefs are with offense. You can't stop both of them. The goal is to cut one of them off and let the other one get theirs because stopping KD and Kyrie, that can lead you into a lot of trouble if you try to do that. So, but obviously I still think KD's a top 3 player in the entire world right now. So he's probably the best scorer we've ever seen. So to have him be there, I think he's going to be more of an issue tonight. I think Kyrie's performance will be more. Depending on how Kyrie does, will depend more on how the Nets do.
Gotta.
I'm definitely more worried about Kyrie. I think that it's going to be easier for Matisse and Tobias to slow down KD a little bit, as opposed to Kyrie. I don't know if I trust Maxey or Harden against Kyrie at all, unless Matisse is up against him. I don't know who they're going to put Matisse on, but I say whoever Matisse isn't on is the one who's going to score.
So this game, real quick, I'll throw it to Scotty next. This game reminds me of the last time they played when Joel, like, single-handedly, there was no Kyrie, but Harden and Durant both went for like 30 each, or Harden had like a 28-point triple-double and Durant went for 35, and he was able to do it. What's a limit, Scotty? And obviously, who's the bigger concern for you? But what's a limit? Like, both guys are going to get theirs, right? They're going to get 25 to 30. But like, are you focusing on keeping both of them like under 35? Like, what are you looking for tonight?
So I mean, as far as I'll just answer your first question first. As far as between KD and Kyrie, I think when you look at both of them, similar to what Kata and Cole have said already, Kyrie is kind of like the wild card. Like, KD is going to give you 30 regardless. Like, doesn't matter if Matisse is on him, doesn't matter if Tobias is on him, doesn't matter if Ben Simmons was still in the Sixers and on him. He's dropping 30 points a game. That's what KD does. It's always going to happen. Kyrie is like the guy where I look at the matchup and I do look at Matisse, and I think Matisse is the guy that has to guard Kyrie Irving. You cannot throw even Maxey on him. I'm throwing Matisse on him all game until Matisse gets in foul trouble, and I'm letting Matisse match Kyrie's minutes all the way to that point. Like, I want Matisse to be an annoyance to Kyrie Irving. I want him to be a gnat in Kyrie Irving's ear. Like, that's how I want Matisse to operate tonight. So that's where I'm looking at it. And the reason I look at Kyrie as more dangerous in that sense is because I do feel that we have a matchup for Kyrie where you let KD go. If he's scoring 30, he's scoring 30. If he's scoring 35, whatever the case may be. Kyrie Irving, you throw your best defender on him in Matisse Thybulle. If he drops 30 on you, you're going to lose this game. So that's kind of where I'm at with this whole situation. When you look at the numbers, they kind of say the same thing. KD, he's played in 3 games this year against the Sixers. He's averaging 32, 10, and 8. So a borderline of triple-double against the Sixers this season. Kyrie hasn't played against the Sixers this season, but the one game that he played against them last season, he dropped 37 and 9. So we cannot let that happen. That's going to be the key, in my opinion, is shutting down Kyrie Irving.
Again.
Yeah, I totally agree with everything Scotty said. I think you throw your best defender, Matisse, at Kyrie Irving. You don't have the body to throw at Kevin Durant in terms of you don't have a 6'10" mobile guy that can match his length. And to pretend that Matisse Thybulle is that guy would be just the wrong thing to do, in my opinion. You can throw the body of Tobias Harris at him. Tobias Harris is second biggest body we have that's going to be in the starting lineup tonight. So that's what I would do. And like Scotty said, if Kyrie does his thing and Matisse gets in foul trouble, you really look at a team that struggles to guard quick guards as is, now minus Matisse Thybulle, you might be in some trouble. But to answer your question on like a mark where they have to avoid, I don't necessarily think there is a mark. I think it's those two guys are probably going to get 25 to 30 points. It's naturally what's going to happen. It's what you can limit the other guys to, what you can limit Seth Curry, Patty Mills, Goran Dragic, like those type of guys. We can't have one of them hit 6 threes and next thing you know they have 20 plus. That's where you'll run into a lot of issues. And then also rebounding the ball. Andre Drummond is what we just had. He's a moose on the glass. Not saying he's going to dominate Embiid, but the guy rebounds, and we're one of the worst rebounding teams in the NBA. So that's more what I'm worried about is the supporting cast not being an issue rather than, oh, we need to hold KD and Kyrie under 30 each and we're going to win, because it might not happen.
No, I'm with you. And that's what I was going to say. Is there an option for what the others do? Because Scotty and I talked about this the other day, and again, you and I have said the same thing. In most series this playoffs, the Sixers are going to have 2 of the 2 best players or 2 of the 3 best players on the floor in that series, right? Tonight's not one of those nights. Brooklyn is the one team where it's 2v2, right? It's
Mhm.
how the others step up tonight, right? Can you not allow, like Ginn said, Patty Mills to hit 5 threes? Can you not allow Seth Curry to go for 15, 16 plus? Can you keep Andre Drummond off the boards, right? So I think that's a huge question mark. But in terms of stopping who you can control more, I'd have to agree. I mean, like Scotty, like you all said, KD's go. They're both going to get theirs, but we know KD's going to get his, and you really don't have an answer for it, right? So Kyrie, that smaller, that quick kind of guard, those are the guards that have always given us problems. Even when we had a defensive player of the year kind of in Ben, because obviously he's 6'10", and it's harder to guard quick, smaller guards. So you throw Matisse, like Scotty said, on him all game long. If Matisse has to use those fouls, he uses those fouls. Now, obviously, what happens when Matisse picks up too quick? Well, you can't leave him on there for the rest of the first quarter, right? So it's going to be interesting. This has to be a game where Matisse Thybulle is incredibly important because he has to just be, quick up here tonight defensively. He cannot be falling behind Kyrie Irving and trying to take the ball out of his hands from behind, because then his momentum, his body weight's going to carry him into a stopping Kyrie Irving, picking up a quick foul. That's what Kyrie's going to try to do, right? So this is a Matisse Thybulle on Kyrie Irving type of game. And the Sixers clearly can't let Kyrie go for 50. So,
Right.
so it'll be interesting to see what happens.
Yeah. And, just something that you were kind of hinting at there, Dylan. You didn't say his name per se, but Doc Rivers, right? This is when you look at this matchup between the Nets and the Sixers, that's one place where the Sixers should have an advantage, right? In coaching. Like they should, right?
Absolutely.
So that's just something else that crossed my mind. Doc Rivers catches a lot of heat. I think he's handled this team very well since the Harden trade. Obviously there's been a couple mishaps there, but you're learning on the fly just like everybody else.
I know we're tough on him, but if we're being like completely honest, Doc's handled this team and this whole situation well all year long.
Yeah.
The fact that they were the 3 seed at the All-Star break before the Ben move, and you're minus a max contract player, you got to tip your hat to Doc there. But do you have something to say before we move on?
No, I was just going to say, on paper, you suggest that he's the better coach.
Yeah.
If I see a lineup tonight of Shake Milton, Furkan Korkmaz, I say it, George Niang, DeAndre Jordan, I'll have a lot
words. Furkan's dropping 50 tonight. I don't know what you're talking about.
Please do not touch the floor.
Yeah,
real quick. Dude, it's crazy because I think he was starting to realize what Furk was. He was starting to diminish. Yeah. And then Danny Green gets a paper cut and he's out for 2 weeks. Like, there is a cloud in the sky that's just making sure Furk plays 18 minutes a night.
Furk's amazing. Huh? Furk's the next Michael Jordan. You guys keep hating on Furkan for no reason.
I can't.
Isaiah Joe just
29%. It's a fake stat.
It's a fake stat.
All right. Now, again, guys, let's throw this to you, right? So let's get into some keys to victory and players to watch for tonight. And I want to start with one of the others, and that being Matisse Thybulle, because, a lot of times we come on here after a big matchup, one of the teams, one of the teams high up in the Eastern Conference that the Sixers could see in the Eastern Conference Finals, etc. And he just diminishes, and he just kind of hides in the shadows, right? Again, I'll throw it to you first. What is Matisse Thybulle going to do tonight? Because this is a game, the Boston Celtics, the Milwaukee Bucks, these upper echelon teams, is a 2-point game, 2-point night for Matisse Thybulle.
That's a great question. I don't know what Brooklyn's going to do defensively. Like, both sides of the ball, it's just mismatch after mismatch. Like, everywhere you look, there's a mismatch. Just guys aren't going to be able to guard people. So obviously they're going to throw 2-3 bodies at Joel when he catches the ball. So you could see Matisse maybe getting 4 dunks that are uncontested because Joel's finding him out of the paint really well. And since we've gotten Harden, Matisse has been a good screener. Mm-hmm. Harden puts him in a spot to just catch the ball and dunk it and not have to think. And that's half the battle with Matisse Thybulle. But the issue, like you brought up earlier, if you're going to throw him at Kyrie Irving and play him one-on-one, I don't see a way Matisse Thybulle gets out of the first quarter without having 2 fouls. As good as a defender as you are, Kyrie Irving is one of the 4 best point guards I've ever played basketball. and is
And
a
he
magician
gambles a lot.
with the ball in his hands. So asking him to go out there and play on one-on-one is going to be tough. So I don't know how much of a rhythm he's going to be able to get into tonight. I don't know what if Steve Nash leaves him on an island and he's just breaking jumper after jumper. You could see Boston Celtics with Matisse Thybulle, or you could see remember when he guarded Devin Booker and put a shot in the stands twice and played really good defense? You could see that kind of game. I'm going to lean towards a very mediocre game because of foul trouble and not being able to get into a rhythm. So that'll be my prediction for Matisse.
Kata, throw it to you next.
Well, I bet the over 5.5 for him and 1-3. So
that's his over under 5.5.
Yeah, his over under was 5.5. So
dude,
I had to
he's
take
gonna
the
log
over tonight.
30 minutes.
I mean, yeah, but he did score 0 points.
Nuts, right?
He did score 0 points against the Cavs and the Heat combined. He didn't score a single damn point in either of those games.
God, dude.
So I had to take that over. I think he's gonna hit a 3 and score 6 points. Especially if he's playing that kind of minutes. If not, it's time to cut him and start for Korkmaz.
Scotty.
Yeah, so it's funny as Gent was talking there, I realized kind of what will dictate Matisse Thybulle, and it is part of what Gent said. It's partly foul trouble, but how this game is officiated is gonna play in a lot to what Matisse is able to do, because to Gent's point, as good as Kyrie Irving is, the refs don't favor Matisse with the whistle anyways. So they call him for bad fouls against bad players. You know what I mean? So he definitely has to be careful tonight. Hopefully the refs are letting them play a little bit, because those are the games where we can get to see Matisse be hectic on the defensive end, like against the Suns, like against the Warriors earlier this season when he guarded Steph. But on the other side of the ball, aside from just defense and matching up with Kyrie, I think on the other side of the ball, like you guys said, there's mismatches all over the floor on both sides. So Steve Nash, the Nets, they're going to have to make some decisions on who they're hiding on Matisse. So you're either going to hide Kyrie or you're going to hide Seth Curry on Matisse Thybulle. Either one of them, he has to make them pay, and I know that's asking for a lot. Don't hold me to him actually making them pay. He has to make them pay, especially if it's Seth Curry, a guy who's not nearly as athletic as Matisse. Kyrie Irving's a little bit quicker than Seth in that instance. He can play a little bit harder on defense. Seth is he's not quick on his feet. So Matisse should be able to float around in the back. Seth, he's not the most aware on defense either. We watched him play defense here. Tonight. We watched him play defense here, right? So Matisse has to make him pay, make sure he's active on the offensive end, not just sitting in the corner, but making sure he's cutting down the lane, setting screens for Harden, getting involved in the play. That way Seth can't just sit over there in the corner and not have to do anything all night. He needs to make him work. So that's the other side for Matisse. Maybe not necessarily points, but just making his defender work, not just standing in the corner waiting for a 3 to brick.
Do you think there's a chance they use KD as a help guy and hide him on Matisse Thybulle?
It's a good idea. It's a good idea again, honestly.
I just look at a 6'10" body.
They
asking Andre Drummond to guard him one-on-one is malpractice, and Steve Nash should get thrown in jail for it. So I think that's an option, and it keeps him super fresh on the offensive end.
100%. That's
so
very fair. That's
real quick before we get to Cole, 10 minutes ago, Kai Harlan tweeted, Doc Rivers says Matisse Thybulle will get a look against both Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant tonight. Thybulle this morning said he's only faced Irving for a half in his NBA career so far.
So he's going to have 6 fouls in the first quarter.
And I think that's
not too familiar.
I swear the half that he played against him was that 37-point game. It had to have been last season in that 37-point game.
It was.
So, yeah, good luck, Matisse. But honestly, putting him on KD, once again, I guess you try your best defender on the best players, but if he picks up a foul on a swipe through on KD, there's one foul taken away from Matisse Thybulle that he could have used against Kai. I don't know. I feel like it's a waste to put him on KD, in my opinion.
Yeah. Cole, what do you think tonight? What do you think out of Matisse Thybulle?
I think the most important thing for Matisse is being smart with his fouls, making sure he doesn't make any dumb fouls and they're timed well and he's smart with them. And offensively, we don't need a lot. We need him to hit Carter's over, and that's about it. We need 6 to 10 points from him. and he should be fine. But defensively, he just has to be smart with the fouls and not sell out so much in the first half. So he's there for the second half to be able to guard Kyrie and apparently guard some of KD as well.
Right.
I'm with you. Like, it's obviously it's a lot easier said than done, but like
Right.
you just see the nights where Matisse picks up two dumb, lazy kind of ish fouls, even though he's one of the hardest, working defenders in the league. It's just when he tries to go for that, come from behind block, and he's running 100 miles an hour, and Kyrie puts the brakes on him in the paint, and here comes Matisse into his back. Like, that can't happen, right? Just give him the bucket. You like, don't, if you're trailing, you're trailing. Like, don't try to pick up a dumb come from the behind foul. And like you said, if he can give you 6+ points tonight, I guess that's an added bonus from your fifth starter. All right, let's get into keys to victory tonight. Did you guys bring any with you? Because my first one, we can throw it around here. Rebound. Gid said it earlier. They are one of the worst rebounding teams in the league. Obviously, going against former Sixer Andre Drummond, we know how he can control the glass. But outside of Andre Drummond, the Nets don't have a lot of bodies to throw out there. LaMarcus Aldridge is out tonight. You got power forward Blake Griffin you could throw out there, and then obviously Nick Claxton, who they don't know what to do with, and he's no match for Joel Embiid either. So, but the reason I put rebound in all caps is because it's one thing to give a bad team, multiple second chance opportunities and let them hang around the game. You cannot give this offense second chance after second chance after second chance, because I promise you, you're going to see tip, rebound, Patty Mills on the wing, splash, 3. Tip, rebound, Seth Curry in the corner, 3. That can't happen tonight because you will lose the game that way.
Yeah, for me, it's definitely rebounding as well. I mean, rebounding is my number one thing, but also another big impact is going to be the bench points and the role players. Bench points obviously have gone down since the Harden trade because we did lose some guys off the bench that we had to move up to starters, or we lost Andre Drummond off the bench. But George Niang, I think George Niang is going to have a big impact tonight. And I love George Niang.
He better.
He's going to. I think he will. I think George Niang is going to have a big game. Shake Milton's another guy who needs to have another big game. I mean, they're the only two guys that have been able to come close to double digits since the trade. I mean, Paul Millsap scored like 2 points every 4 games.
I wonder if you'll see Paul Millsap tonight at all.
Maybe a little bit. It honestly depends on the foul situation. It depends on if Matisse is getting into foul trouble, they might have to throw Paul Millsap out there and move Tobias to the 3 or something along those lines. But I mean, it just all depends on the foul situation.
Yeah, because I mean that's a good point, right? Because I didn't hate Paul Millsap when he first got here. Scotty, I'll throw this to you as well, and then if you have any keys and go off the others. But we've only seen backup 5 small ball Paul Millsap, and it hasn't looked pretty, and the numbers aren't pretty.
Yeah.
But let's not forget Paul Millsap's probably a stretch 4. Does that look a little better next to a Joel Embiid if someone gets in foul trouble? Obviously, he's got to be able to hit the open 3, which he hasn't done very well so far. But
yeah, I mean, stretch 4, I don't mind him. I don't know where he's going to get those minutes when Tobias. I guess if Tobias is in foul trouble and maybe Niang, because Niang's going to spell Tobias in most cases, but. I don't know. I don't mind Paul Millsap in certain situations. I think with him and DeAndre Jordan, you use it. You play it by feel. So, like, if you have a smaller team that gets up and down the court, you might want to run Paul Millsap out there as the backup 5. But if it's a bigger team with a bigger backup center, you may want to throw DeAndre Jordan. I liked what I saw from DeAndre Jordan the other night. Just 10 minutes, got like a rebound, a tap out. Those are the little things that we need from the second unit, though. Like, Andre Drummond, that was a blessing. Like I know everybody was like up in arms about trading him for James Harden. We won't go back to that, but that was just a blessing to have him in the first place. Like that's not a normal backup center. So DeAndre Jordan and the tap outs, any offensive rebounds, any rebounding in general that he can give us is going to be great. But as far as just keys to victory for the Sixers here, it kind of plays into your point, Dylan. I have written down here, start strong. Like we've seen these slow starts. You do not want to get down early to a KD and Kyrie led team. That cannot happen. I would obviously be concerned if we get down double digits or more. How are you going to get stops consecutively in order to get back into that game? So that can't happen. And then the other side of it is just playing with energy and heart. Like, want the game more than the Brooklyn Nets tonight. Like, at the very basis of everything. Like, you've brought your team up to the caliber where we think you can match up with the Brooklyn Nets and give them a series and potentially win the NBA championship. So go out there and play with just the basis of playing hard and wanting to win, and the talent will show through anyways. So, like, I want them to start in that first quarter, hitting the boards, dominating the paint, hustle points, and just strictly being tough. And then just two other side notes to kind of tie into that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Tobias Harris and Tyrese Maxey. Tobias Harris more so. Like, I don't want to see the indecisive Tobias Harris tonight. It's going to get called out. It's going to get picked on if he looks the way he has looked against the Nets tonight. It's going to get called out.
I know who's coming for him. I know who's exactly coming for him.
knows me. Cotta knows how I've deflected and defended Tobias Harris. I'm at the breaking point personally. So, like, I'm at the point where I can't do it anymore. And I do need him to step up to the plate. But then even Tyrese Maxey, those first halves where he's kind of just not there, you know, where Harden has to wake him up at halftime. I don't want to see any of that tonight. Let's get Tyrese Maxey aggressive from the jump. Embiid not looking lazy at the, you know, body language. I want him to be full of energy tonight. That's what I want to see from the Sixers most of all.
Real quick, is this a Delran Bear? Dustin, if you're commenting, or is this Delran Bear? Let me know. But Kata, you had a big smile on your face when Scotty brought up Tobias or Tobias.
Here we go. Here we go.
Listen, trolling aside,
Oh,
because you're getting into the podcast, bro. So I don't know if you're going to be a troll on your show or if you're going to be real on the show.
it's good to hear, Carter.
What do you need to see out of Tobias Harris tonight?
Honestly, I just need to see him, like, not shoot the game away. Like, if your shot's not on,
No 3
stop
or 14.
taking the fucking shot.
No.
Like, don't be Tobias. If your Tobias disappear, okay, that's fine. But don't go 3 for 15 and shoot the game away. Give the ball to Harden.
All right. Again, you got any keys to victory or just going off of what everyone said?
Yeah, I think the bench thing was huge. Obviously, with what Brooklyn's going through this year, like Cam Thomas, Patty Mills, like they've played so many minutes to the point where they're probably in the starter range of guys. They're NBA players. They've looked really good this year. So not getting dominated off the bench is huge, especially with the way this bench has looked between Furk and Shake and inconsistency across the board. Like, you need something. And George Niang, like, you wrote a check, you better cash it, because if you have a lot to say and you're going to do something and talk trash to him, then do it. So that's huge. Also with Tobias Harris, like, I don't think – obviously you need Tobias Harris to score because of the nature of the team, but, like, you just need Tobias Harris to compete. He's probably going to get thrown to Kevin Durant first, I'd assume. Like, it can take your morale down a little bit just consistently getting a pull-up jumper put in your face. And he doesn't need to get into a pissing contest bombing 30-footers to try to, like, match Kevin Durant. It's not going to happen.
Joel doesn't either. I don't need to see any 2 seconds into the shot clock pull up threes.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of getting at. And
after a 3 from Brooklyn, I don't need it.
Another thing that Scotty said with Tyrese Maxey is how he kind of responds. He played in the playoff series last year, but I feel like this is one of his bigger games of his NBA career so far. This will be the first time he's played Kyrie Irving, a degree of that guy.
Oh, this is first of all,
Kyrie kind of headhunting him a little bit, trying to get him on a switch and attacking him because that's what Kyrie does, and it gets downhill. And
so
trying to see how Tyrese Maxey responds as well.
So obviously, I know this is a Sixers pregame show, guys, but a lot of breaking news today.
Kelsey's back, baby.
But Jason Kelce has announced he's returning for another season.
Let's go.
So he will be back this year in the green. So that is nice.
Real quick side note: how about that Khalil Mack trade? It didn't get a lot of hype. I know. Coming on here,
second and a sixth.
That's I guess I was wondering why the Eagles wouldn't get it. Money, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Money.
The Chargers are taking on the rest of his contract.
That's going to be a mean defensive line though with him and both.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, listen. Again, we got to get back on track here, but if you're the Chargers looking at what's happening in that division, You
Correct.
better go get some help.
Yeah, it's true.
Straight up.
That's true.
All right, guys. So anything else in terms of keys to victory, or should we move on here?
Just one final tagline,
Yeah.
just because Cole again they pointed out the bench. That was also one of my keys as well. But just on a kind of a caveat off of that point, taking advantage of when KD sparingly is off the floor. You have to win those minutes, even if it's only 5 minutes throughout the game. You have to win those minutes when KD's off the floor specifically.
What annoying net bench player
Blake
tears us up
Griffin.
tonight?
Cam Thomas.
Cam
Ooh,
Thomas.
Cam Thomas.
I think we have nothing off the bench to match Cam Thomas.
I thought you were going to say it was going to piss me off the bench. That's why I said Blake Griffin.
Yeah.
Cam Thomas is a good pick. I like
Well,
that.
I meant piss you off in terms of won't miss, like Gabe Vincent.
Oh no, I just meant like just being a troll and like
Oh, no.
yeah, no.
Blake
But Cam
Griffin.
Thomas is that guy. I agree with Gant
Seeing
there.
Blake Griffin play basketball just pisses me off. Seeing him on an NBA
He's
court
on.
just gets
I'm
my
pretty
nerves.
sure he's on. Like he hasn't played in like 3 or 4 games.
That's something to watch out for. Again, I love that you pointed out Cam Thomas because it's one of those things where he really shouldn't outplay like a Tyrese Maxey, but that like can't happen tonight where Cam Thomas is like outplaying our third star. You know what I mean? Like that
Fourth quarter at the Garden, Cam Thomas from a couple months ago.
That's what I picture though. Like
when I had a bet on the Knicks.
He's a dog, bro. Like yeah, he's
like
got
what
the
we bring off the
mentality.
bench is nothing like Cam Thomas. Like we have Shake is a body that's long and can play with Patty Mills maybe, and same thing with Goran Dragic. But then you look at Cam Thomas and my God, I would
Yeah,
do
the
it.
bag.
A Cam Thomas off the bench rather than Jaden Springer, who does he even play basketball anymore at this point?
Furkan's dropping 50. Watch out.
No, this would be a game
anymore.
before it goes off. Danny Green gets a paper cut. He's out for 2 weeks.
It's
Ferk's going to light it up for the next 2 weeks.
You got the wrong player off the bench.
Now we're going to
It's
be
Georges
stuck with
Niang.
I can
Ferk as
see
the
it.
first
Furkan's got to catch fire at some point.
It's
I can
Georges
see it.
Niang.
And then
Georges
he's right
Niang.
back in the rotation.
Oh,
So the
you
last
see the
thing
yellow
I'll say,
shoes. The yellow shoes trotting to the table first off the bench. Oh, I get disgusted.
Dan, listen to me now. Guys, look out. If he plays tonight, I promise you, within the first 3 minutes, why?
Oh my
I have so many.
God.
I have questions. I just want to know.
What?
You spent your money on
What?
a Furkan Korkmaz jersey.
Bro, why?
I have
Yes,
so
I
many
have.
questions. but
I have 2.
Please
I'll
tell
give
me
you
you use the Kata promo code, man.
Yeah.
It's the promo code
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
Nothing.
I
It doesn't
bought
matter.
myself.
You paid shipping for that. Who cares?
Oh my God, you really did. You really bought those.
Bad business decision.
He said
Oh,
he's
my
got 2, man.
Dude,
Am I saying that right?
Furkan's a god. Furkan's one of the longest tenured players on the team.
Oh dear God. All right, hold on real quick. So obviously the bench is a big thing, right? But everyone's, and obviously us as Sixers fans, we're worried, right? Kyrie, KD, big two names, obviously offensively. How are we going to slow them down? But I look at this Brooklyn Nets team defensively, and it's like Ginn mentioned it earlier for just half a second. And I think it needs to be talked about more. There's just mismatches all across the board. Like they have nothing for the Sixers defensively. Like you throw out the name Andre Drummond. Let's say Andre Drummond starts tonight. Do we know Andre Drummond's history against Joel Embiid?
Yeah,
If it's not Andre Drummond and they start Nick Claxton, we've seen what Joel Embiid has done against Nick,
They
Nick
fought
Claxton,
once.
right?
They fought once. Drummond
Yeah.
and Embiid.
Yeah.
That's all.
So that's exhibit A, right? And then let's see what else you got. KD, all right, whatever, long body. If he's help on Joel, if he's against the bias, whatever you want to do. But then what do you have? Seth Curry guarding James Harden or Tyrese Maxey? Is Kyrie guarding James Harden or Tyrese Maxey? Is Patty Mills guard? They have nothing. It's
Bruce Brown is going to get thrown at James Harden.
Yeah, Bruce Brown's the Harden.
that's
and
fine.
he's just it's still
That's fine.
there's no one on the
Kentucky Fried
planet
Chicken.
that can guard Bruce
Kentucky
Brown.
Fried Chicken all
Yeah.
night long. I don't give a damn about Bruce effing Brown. Miss me with that. He had some shit to say when James Harden got traded too. Is the funniest thing I've ever seen. But yeah, like they just that's another thing. All last year we talked about Tobias Harris specifically taking advantage of mismatches and size, right? This is 1 through 4. I'm excluding Matisse because that's no mismatch, neither here nor there. 1 through 4, the Sixers will have mismatches all over the floor. The question is, will they be able to shoot efficiently? That's the biggest thing. Because obviously you shoot like you did in Miami. I don't care if Harden's playing or not. You're not beating anybody, especially the Brooklyn Nets. So can they shoot the ball efficiently? Can they hit open threes? And that's going to be big tonight. Yusuf, are you like 8 years old? I'm just confused.
What's going on?
Probably is.
Hey, you
Probably
said
for my
I have questions because, you're going to comment, so I'll comment back. you said the Nets were the greatest team in the world earlier.
They're 500.
But then he said that the Suns are winning the championship. So I had some questions, but okay.
Sounds like a bandwagon.
Yeah, I mean, he's probably like 11 years
Or a
old.
kid
I
from
don't,
my
I don't, I
TikTok.
don't want to say too much because
Yeah, he might be a kid from your TikTok.
Yeah,
You have
definitely
some,
is.
dude, every time I see your TikTok comment, it's somebody saying something weird.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
goodness.
That's the weird thing. You know why it's weird on his comments? Because the guy running the damn TikTok owns a Furcon Corkmouth jersey.
Two.
That's weird
and
in
two
itself.
shirts.
If they said you won a contest and they were sending you a Fur jersey, I'd just be like, nah, you're good. Like, donate that shit to charity.
Look at
Like,
me.
you keep that shit. You're good, man.
First the bomber.
Damn, Yusuf's a Cavs fan.
Two. It's weird in itself.
He's what?
If they said you won a contest and they were sending you a Fur jersey, I'd just be like, nah.
What is happening?
I don't know.
I heard Git talking, but
Me
like
too, I
I
just
didn't
heard
see him
myself.
talking.
Oh, he's 16. You're a child. We can't even talk to you. I might have to block you in a second if you keep it up because you're really grinding my gears over here.
Make sure you subscribe and share the podcast first.
Let
You-
the kids live, Dylan.
What jersey do you have on?
What?
Me?
Oh, that's fire.
Oh, that's a good one.
Because really, we gotta shout Yusuf out. He's driving engagement to our show. So
That is true.
Dylan,
That
Shout out
in the
Yusuf.
comments, bro.
Go
Oh
Cavs.
yeah, we just got these in the store 2 days ago.
Go
As soon
Cavs.
as I was the one that took the shipment, put it right to the side for myself, didn't censor it, nothing. Put it
Backboard.
right on the shelf. All right, boys, let's move forward here in the pregame show. We'll wrap this up in a little bit, obviously, because this is one of those games that you're going to want to be in front of your TV throughout the pregame show.
I'm going to be cursing them out.
I want to hear all the wild shit, the national broadcast.
So, what do
says.
you guys want to do first? Because obviously, we have stat and score predictions, and we'll call it player of the game. We'll each go around and pick a player of the game for the Sixers, and then. But I guess we should do our parlays first. Did everyone bring a parlay?
Of course.
Of
Yeah.
course.
You ready
All
for
right,
this
I'm a
one?
who wants to
degenerate.
lead it off?
Me.
Go ahead.
Hold on. I got to sign into FanDuel.
Are you Joe? You got to be ready if you're going to go first, bro.
Calm down. Calm down. Embiid over 40. Durant over 30. Harden over 20. Kyrie over 30. Maxey 2 threes. Harden 2 threes. Durant 2 threes.
What's those odds?
10 to pay a rack.
God damn, bro.
Go.
Yo, holy shit. I mean, obviously, I can see why. You got like
Yeah.
3 dudes scoring 30 plus, a 20 plus, and a bunch of 2
Yo,
plus threes. But
Total sidebar. Sunday, the Celtics-Nets game. Tatum over 35. Durant over 35. Both to hit 4 threes. 10 to pay 1,800.
you hit it?
Did I?
Yeah, he did.
Go fuck yourself, dude.
They,
Like, really.
I think they both.
I'm over here missing by a single assist.
Oh,
or
dude,
half
you
a
yeah,
know,
game.
yo,
I
I've
fucked
went
up.
through hell. I don't want to hear
I
that.
made one at school that was like 50 cents, and Embiid was 1 point away, and I would have won $2,000.
You want to know something bad, right? So I had to ban, obviously as crazy as it sounds stat-wise for Joel Embiid this season. Earlier in the year, I'm talking like first 2 months of the season, I had to ban Joel Embiid from my parlays because I had an 11-leg same game parlay for I think like Sixers Toronto, something crazy. And everything hit, and I had Joel Embiid for 20 plus, and he scored 18 fucking points. 18 points. It was like 50 to pay 2,500.
Probably the last time he scored 18 points all year.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're damn right. It probably was.
Straight up.
He shoots 3 of 15 and gets 26 points. I don't
Yeah,
know
well,
how he had 18.
he gets fouled 74 times a game because they don't know how to stop him.
I'll
Who's
never
up
forget
next?
the rebound that fell out of Tobias's hands. I know
Oh,
you remember
yeah.
that one.
Scotty
Dylan.
and I had the same thing. And
Yeah, the
we
same exact parlay, missing
Yeah.
by 1 rebound, bro.
was that
And
Memphis? That was the overtime game.
Memphis, Tobias had the rebound. Like, if you guys remember, Matisse like threw the ball and it went to Maxey in the backcourt, and he like
Mhm.
ended the game with a fast break layup. Tobias Harris dropped that rebound that went into
Yeah.
Matisse's hands,
I remember that. I
and we
remember
would have
that.
won big money off of that. That pissed me the fuck off.
All right. Who wants to go next?
I'll go next. So tonight I got James Harden 2 plus threes, Kyrie 2 plus threes, James Harden 6 rebounds, 20 points from Maxey, 30 from Embiid, 30 from KD, and 10 assists from Harden.
Odds.
$5 to win 127.
Okay.
That's not too bad. Not anything too crazy, but
That's pretty nice on 5 bills.
so
Gotta.
All right, mine's a $5 bet as well. I got Seth Curry over 11.5, Matisse over 5.5, Maxey over 2.5 assists, Matisse to hit a 3, and Maxey over 1.5 threes. $5 to win 58.
Scotty.
So I got a safe one for you, and I got a predict the whole fucking game right one for you. So I got the safe one first. I had at plus 276. This is just Sixers money line. I got Harden 25 plus points and Tyrese Maxey 15 plus points. I also combined that with a Duke W this morning, so just take it with a little bit of grain of salt. That one's already fell through for me. The other one I have here, this one is actually plus 2,494.
Okay.
So what I got here, I have the over on total points at 230.5. So 230 points for both teams combined. I have Tobias 10 plus points, Seth Curry 10 plus points, Tyrese Maxey 15 plus, Kyrie Irving, James Harden 20 plus, Kevin Durant 25 plus, Joel Embiid 30 plus. I have Tyrese Maxey, Tobias Harris, Kevin Durant 1 3 made, and then James Harden 2 threes made.
All right. That's how many legs is that? Mine's 10, bro. So I'm probably right there.
Let me fucking count them.
I think it says, doesn't it?
Yeah. Side note: I really like your confidence. The safe one had Sixers money line on it.
Yeah.
Safe pick Sixers.
I
money
mean,
line.
I guess when I say safe is
Lower
the
odds.
least amount of things have to happen to win.
Yeah. All right. Mine's 10 legs. Let's see. And to start off, I'm putting some faith in the others. So I didn't take the over, but I put Matisse right at 5 plus points. George Niang, 7 plus points off the bench. Joel, 30 plus. Tyrese Maxey, over 2.5 assists. James Harden, over 8.5 assists. KD, over 4.5 rebounds. James Harden, over 5.5 rebounds. James Harden, 2 plus threes. Seth Curry, 1 plus 3. Tyrese Maxey, 1 plus 3. 25 gives you 462. Boys, this is the thing about parlays, right? So if you're a smart sports bettor, you probably just muted all of us because suckers bet and we're all going to miss by a leg or two.
Exactly.
But when you take everything, when you just go one by one, doesn't it sound nice? It just that should happen. That should happen. Hey, Gintz is a little more risque. Gintz,
Bro, I've been throwing down
40, 30, 30, 20.
I've been throwing down like Embiid 25 plus, Harden 20 plus, Harden 6 plus assists, and Sixers money line like since Harden's been traded here. Like,
Dude,
that's been like my go-to parlay.
My buddy back to back went same thing you said. Embiid 25 plus, Harden 20 plus, Harden plus 12 assists, Maxey 2 threes, Harden 1 3. The first night he did it paid out like it was like $25 to win 350. Hit it, played it the next time. It was like $25 to win 250. The odds just went down and down and down because it just kept happening.
Right. Whoa. 12 assists. That's a good call. Bro.
Yeah, I have a 14-leg college basketball conference champion winner, and when I win, I'll take all you out. Is
everybody still in it?
Yeah, I'll win 60 racks.
Holy shit.
Rip it, Roka.
Who do you got winning the ACC?
You don't want to hear that, Scotty.
North Carolina?
It's a team that's going to smoke North Carolina tonight by 20.
Virginia.
Funny,
Interesting.
funny. Yeah,
they had the best, dude. They had the best money, plus 1,600 for a team that plays really well in the ACC tournament every year.
They're a great defensive team. Yeah.
North Carolina also beat them by 25 twice this year. So.
Yeah, smart, buddy. Not changes in March.
It's March. All right, let's round table this. And Cole, you're the newbie here, so I'll throw it to you first. Give me a standout star tonight for the Sixers to be successful.
I want to say George Niang so bad.
Say it, rip it.
I'm gonna say George Niang. I'm expecting over 15 points from George Niang tonight.
All right, yeah. Give me a stat. Just give me one stat to go, George Niang. 15 plus.
Yeah, 15 plus for George Niang, and I do think the Sixers win, and I think they cover tonight too. I have them winning 124 to 116. And also, story, I won free tickets to a playoff game last year by guessing the score of a game right.
Look at you.
Yeah,
I
I
want
won.
follow up on that.
Yeah, so I went to it's some Facebook group for my hometown. They gave away tickets, and my score prediction was like it was the game 5 against the Wizards. It was like 122 to 103, and I said it was the final score, and I said 122 to 104. So they just gave them to me, and I went. So I got to go to the game 2 against the Hawks. That was cool.
Hell yeah.
But yeah.
All right, Kata, let me get a standout star and a stat for him. Oh, Jesus Christ.
1-3 made.
No, that's no stat. No,
That's a star
no.
for me.
It's not a stat, Carter.
He's a star in my heart, and he's gonna stare Ben Simmons down when he does it with his clunky yellow shoes flopping up the floor.
First of all, you better hope his ass even sees the floor tonight.
Yeah, for real. I don't know if he's gonna get any minutes.
Probably.
Yo, hold on. We need to get up a quick graphic before the game starts of all our standout stars and their stats, and hopefully Korkmaz doesn't play. Gin, let me get a standout star and a stat.
I can't pick like Embiid, right?
Sure.
No,
They're playing KD and Kyrie.
No, I like Shake.
Not a bad
Really?
one. I like Shake.
Yeah, you look at Brooklyn's backup guards. Obviously, Patty Mills is a horse, but I think he'll play a lot more with the starters. He'll see a lot more Tyrese Maxey time than he will Shake. This feels a lot like Atlanta when he like stole game 2 or game 3, whatever it was. I'll go with him to be a standout. At this point, Embiid getting 35, he's not even standing out. He's just playing a regular game, so I can't even pick him.
All right, Scotty.
So for me, I had like an MVP of the game, and then I also have an X factor. So as far as MVP of the game, I do think it's an Embiid game. It's you got to take advantage of the biggest mismatch that you got. I know everybody, has been hyping up the Harden train today, saying he's going to score 30 plus. Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't. If he's hot tonight, maybe. But I think Embiid is the mismatch that you go to. It's your bread and butter. So I have him finishing with. I had 33 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 blocks, but anything in that ballpark. X factor, Matisse Thybulle. I've kind of been riding it since the beginning. It's not going to show up in the stat sheets. It's really just going to be about him playing smart, aware basketball. The defensive end is going to be obviously important, but then, like I said earlier, just making whether it's Kyrie Irving, whether it's Seth Curry, whoever they try to hide on Matisse Thybulle, make that player work on the defensive end. Don't let him just stand around. But I got Matisse Thybulle as the X factor there.
All right, so mine, I was leaning Harden a little bit because I do think this is a 32, 34 point type of night, a little revenge type of thing for Harden. And this sounds crazy because obviously we all think, and I'm betting Embiid to go for 30 plus 2, right? But I'm going to roll with Tyrese Maxey. And I say that because a little bit of a dig, a little bit of a get at you. Without Ben Simmons' charade and lack of a heart, the transcendence of Tyrese Maxey doesn't happen like this. We don't see Tyrese Maxey in this form. He doesn't play all year long. We don't get this version of Tyrese Maxey already. And I think this is a little bit of a stick it to you. Tyrese Maxey goes for 25 plus tonight on national TV. What?
I agree. I
want
bet
to talk about bold. There you go. I disagree entirely.
Damn.
Not saying he's going to play bad. You look at the names in this game, like Harden, Kyrie, and
right.
I just see him falling to the shadows, which just naturally happens when NBA bona fide superstars are on the court. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he goes Cleveland mode and scores 40 and we win.
We'll see. All right, now we'll run through before we wrap up here. Do the Sixers win? Cole, yes or no? You said yes already.
Yes.
Kata.
No.
Again.
God damn.
I blame it on Tobias.
I'm not going to say no, so I'll just say yes.
That sounds fair enough, Ken.
Scotty.
I'm going to say yes, and I
was
think
going to say you better say yes. It was on your safe parlay.
Hey, I got them covering too. That 4.5 point spread. I think if they do win, they cover. But
all right, yeah. I mean, I have to go with a Sixers dub tonight, and this isn't just like a feeling. This is, I think they understand. Yeah, there you go. The Sixers bump shows up tonight. I think they understand the repercussions. Obviously, they're not listening to outside noise, or you shouldn't be. But you know what gets blown up tomorrow if they lose to the Nets post-trade without Ben Simmons on their home floor, right? I think
I'm
they
gonna
take
have to
care of
delete my
business tonight.
TikTok.
I won't want to wake up.
I know.
Yeah,
I
no,
think
I'm
Joel
not-
Embiid's locked in. I think
I'll be
Harden balls
so
out
let
tonight.
down if they lose tonight. Dude.
I will be very
I'm
let down.
throwing
Like,
my phone out the window.
I'll be rock bottom game 7 upset.
Basically.
All right,
Especially,
guys.
dude. Especially if they get just like punched in the mouth, blown
Yeah,
out.
that's a bad look.
Like
Dude,
Ben's on the bench clapping his hands. Like,
Oh my God.
Oh, stop it!
If somehow this ends up like the Celtics game a few weeks ago, I don't think I'll ever go to the Celtics.
I won't make it
again.
past the second. If they're down by more than 10 points past the second quarter, I'll turn it off. Swear to God.
Or like Katie hits a
You know,
big
you're-
shot and he's dapping
Daryl
up with Ben.
Morton got hosed.
Yeah. Oh.
So hold on. So before we wrap up, I did have a dream about tonight. This happened like 2 or 3 nights ago.
It's face.
Profit.
I had a dream about the Ben Simmons return, right? And the Wells Fargo Center, and we were there. And the Wells Fargo Center is giving it to Ben.
Who's we?
Like I forget, I don't remember. I was there. And and Ben Simmons turns around, sitting on the bench, and blows kisses to the fans.
Oh,
my
no!
God.
I can see it.
So
Well, I was
I'm
saying that-
just
if I-
wondering.
Honestly,
He's
if
gonna
I'm him, that's what I'm doing. Like I'm just
Bro,
embracing it. Instead of
this will
crying about it,
be-
I don't know why he doesn't just embrace it.
Realistically, since Ben Simmons started playing basketball at whatever age, this will be probably one of the first times he ever gets legitimately booed and he's hated in a venue. It's never happened. When you're the number 1 prospect in the country, you go
Yeah.
everywhere. Cameras are on you. Let me get
Yeah.
your autograph. You go into the NBA, you're the same way. We try to do everything we could to love him. Don't get me wrong. Game 7, they probably booed after he threw a pitch pass that Matisse Thybulle, he would have just dunked it. They would have never
Oh, yeah.
been
I know Carter said some things.
that's fair there, but this will be the first time. Like if they like if Scotty said if Kevin Durant hits like a dagger 3 with a minute left and we're down 7, like I could perfectly see him like putting his ear to the crowd, blowing a kiss to the crowd, like something petty like that. That's
then-
when
And
I
then
will go crazy.
and then
Likewise.
the bad things start to happen and things get thrown. Maybe not at him, but on the floor. And that's what cannot happen tonight. So if you're going to the game,
Don't be-
boo, speak your mind, be angry, do what you want to
Scream
do.
expletives at him.
Petty, but do not cross a line. Do not throw anything. Do not be stupid because I cannot deal with another 80 years of Philly fan hatred and they throw snowballs at Santa
I'll
and
bet
bad
you-
at this guy.
Do you want to put a bet down? Even money line. That's something. Someone throws something at him.
Oh, he's getting shit thrown. at
That
him.
or out of
something
tunnel.
good.
Like, remember when Westbrook had something dumped on
Yeah.
him? Something like that.
Especially if they
Somebody's-
lose. If they lose, someone will run down to that tunnel and try to throw something at him.
Like, just don't do it.
Somebody's gonna do the most. I said the same thing on TikTok. Like, just really tread lightly. You understand that you are representing like the city
That's
of
why-
Philadelphia. Like that's what we have
Give
to
them the
kind of
tribute.
ground ourselves
Seriously,
as
give
right
them the
now.
tribute. I read something that the team said they weren't going to do it. I wish they did. I wish they did. Truthfully,
I like I said, part of me does, part of me doesn't, but I feel like that could definitely lead into like something being thrown if they do a tribute video. Like I feel like the best thing for the Wells Fargo Center to do is direct as little attention to Ben Simmons as possible.
The Wells
Because-
Fargo Center can try, but I guarantee
yeah.
you, like,
What? There's going to be a spotlight.
No,
I
no,
know.
I mean like the state as like the center workers because obviously they don't want
right.
they know how it's going to be. The more
TNT is
attention-
going to have a Ben camera. Guaranteed.
absolutely.
Over under amount of times he gets shown on the bench tonight.
Dude, what?
I think he gets shown more than Furkan has minutes. That's my
That's a good
prediction.
stat.
That
Fair
might be
enough.
50 times. So I mean,
Furkan's probably at like over under 16 and a half minutes. That's fair. That was a
But
good-
yeah, what I'm saying is like the Wells Fargo Center to avoid people
Right.
throwing stuff and
Right.
just bring as little attention as possible. TNT is going to make that's going to be the whole. They're going to
Yeah.
focus more on Ben Simmons than they do the actual game.
Oh, 100%. All right, guys,
And
that's going to go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, any city that has dealt with what Ben Simmons has done, I just want the world to understand that it would be a hostile environment. I feel like anywhere that cares about their sports teams. So, like, this picture that's been painted, it's been very, very derogatory and negative about Philadelphia fans. Please, just don't fulfill that prophecy.
Yeah. Boo, say
That's all I can
be
say, man.
angry. Just don't cross the line. Don't be an idiot. Don't get kicked out. Don't throw anything. And have fun. What's
Dude, that's a great.
All right, boys. Well, we are probably an hour from Tip being that nationally televised game. I can't even speak. But let's go enjoy it, guys. DSM Media, a first ever group Sixers pregame show special here. Obviously, DSM Media is proudly brought to you by our friends over at Manscaped. So head on over to manscaped.com and at checkout, use promo code DSM. It's capital DSM for 20% off plus free shipping. For myself, for Scotty, for Kata, for Cole, for Gint, check us out at DSM_media on Twitter. You can find a link tree in our bio to take you to every social media platform we are on. We're on Twitch, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're trying YouTube. Obviously, we're trying to grow all of them. So help us out and support us at DSM Media. Have a great night and enjoy the game.
Fuck Ben.